Day YouTube. It's been a while since I posted. I've been very busy. I had surgery and I'm back. Today's topic, it's an obvious title. If you borrow, you have to pay it back. You owe. If you borrow, you owe. It's an obvious statement, but do you really understand what that means? I had a conversation with my daughter 3 weeks ago when I was at her school. Spent the day with her. She said, "Dad, I want to talk to you about credit. How to build my credit." And she's 20 years old. She's wrapping up her second year of college, sophomore year. Today or tomorrow, she'll be back with us for the summer on and off. And I said, you know what, that's a great question, how to build your credit. 20-year-olds usually ask that question. And I like the fact that she did as well. I said, I have a plan. When you get home for the summer, we're going to talk about that. And that's what I'm going to do with her. You can borrow money from family members, from your boyfriend, your girlfriend, from lenders on credit. But anytime you borrow, you will have to pay that back. At least that's what you're promising when you borrow, that you're going to pay it back. Whether that happens or not, that's actually another story. So think about that, because it's not a good thing. I learned quickly that when you borrow, you have to pay it back, often with interest. I never borrowed money from people, whether it was a friend, a roommate, for this or for that. Never did that. But when I was 20, I started a credit card. And when I turned 21, my friend took me out to my first bar where I had 3 beers at a mall. And after those 3 beers, I felt really good, buzzed, of course. And I had a $500 credit limit on my credit card. So I went to a store called Hugo Boss in the mall. And I bought a $150 sweater with a zipper. It said Hugo Boss. Well, I made the payments over 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was, minimum payment with interest, because I had that credit. The normal mentality nowadays is that if we want something, either we have the money or we don't, but we can get it today in most cases because of credit. And it's not something I recommend. So when I said I learned quickly, I mean that I learned from my mistakes, and I had some debt. And when I got married at the age of 24, I still had some of that debt. And that's when I learned the price of debt. Think of it like this. When you borrow from someone or some lender, you are saying you're going to pay it back, and you're instantly already reducing the amount of your paycheck the next time you get paid. Same thing goes with the car payment. If your car note is $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, you can say every month I'm going to have to reduce that amount of the car note from my pay because it has to go to the lender. Life already is expensive with rent, mortgage, vehicles, utilities, gasoline, expenses, food. The list goes on and on per person. It'll differentiate as well, but I learned again when I would get paid that I had to pay him, her, them, all these companies, and I didn't like that, and I was broke 3 days after getting paid. So what I did is I reduced and eventually eliminated my debt, and I don't borrow. I'm going to take over half of my pay right now. I'm going to lose it on the 1st of June because I'm going back to civil service for the Air Force, being a civilian. I'm not going to be in the Air Force anymore. I'm going to lose over 50% of my pay. Nobody likes to lose money, neither do I. It was a decision that I wanted to do, is go back to civil service, end my Air Force military career, end active duty, and it's a decision that I made, and I still stick by that decision in the sense that even though I'm going to lose over 50% of my pay, I don't have any debt. I made a video last year about my car. I had a Hoopty. It was a 2001 Saturn. Paid $3,000 cash. I loved that car. I made a video, a silly video on this channel about that car, how it took me everywhere, how it was reliable, how it was paid for, how nobody wanted to look at it and steal it because it was just a plain car. That car eventually went away this year, early this year in January. It was 16 years old, and I didn't want to put any more money into it to repair. We bought a family car, paid cash. My point is this: when I transition back to being a civilian in 3 weeks and lose over half of my pay, I don't have a car payment. We have 2 cars, and they're both decent, nice cars, paid for. We don't have any credit card bills. I do have 1 credit card with my wife. We share a credit card. We pay it in full every month. So I'm not saying I don't have a credit card. I'm saying I don't pay interest. I've never paid interest on that account. I don't owe anybody anything, with the exception of in 3 weeks, our mortgage will be down to $15,000. That's it. And then that mortgage will be paid off this year as well. That's it. Going back to the conversation with my daughter, I love to teach her, and individuals, especially young individuals who may be watching this video, who are asking themselves, how do I build credit? I have a credit card. It's for this, it's for that, it's to use. That's normal mentality, the norm in today's environment. But it's not something that I recommend. And take it from me, I've learned from my mistakes. Manage your money. What's the opposite of not having any debt or not having to pay back something to anyone because you haven't borrowed? The opposite is, my wife and I had that conversation. Are we going to be fine when we lose over half of our pay? The answer is yes, because we don't have any debt. We don't owe anything except for the mortgage. And again, that will be paid off shortly. When you don't owe, that means you have more money for yourself every paycheck. Young people, invest long term. Whatever selection that is that you want, whether it's a Roth IRA, an IRA, invest long term. That's another mistake that I didn't do when I was younger. I have investments now, but I'm behind on that. And I'm not really worried about that because I'm going to have a military pension. I'm going to have a civil service pension. And once we pay off the house this year, I have to work another 10 years civil service, which means I'll have 10 years of building wealth, especially with no debt. That's what you can do. I love traveling, vacations. I think about it every single day. When I was younger, last thought on this video is, when I was younger, I would finance vacations on the credit card and again make the minimum payment every month. Today, I love to travel more than ever, but I won't do that again. I haven't done that. When I had 2 stripes as an airman, first class, family of 4, we would travel from Montgomery, Alabama to Los Angeles once a year, and we would save our money, buy our tickets, and that was it, and go to Los Angeles and have a good time. Today, we still do the same things. I love to travel. I have more places to visit than I have vacation time, if that makes any sense. So my challenge for myself is vacation time because I use it constantly. When you borrow, you owe. And it's something that I hope that young people really understand what I'm talking about. Don't do it because it's going to reduce the amount of money that you have when you get paid. And being in the military, you get paid the 1st and the 15th. And it's so easy to say, you know what, I'll get paid in a few days, I'll have more money. Be wise, learn from others, eventually teach others as well, because there are some 20-year-olds who are doing great financially. Think about it. Hope it helps. Have a great day.